Okay, let's talk about what happened today in Nepal. So, sadly, 19 people have lost their lives. 347 people are in hospital, they are injured, and that is according to the Ministry of Health and Population. But as we are all aware, many of the injured people might have gone to their homes, and we will not know the entire cost of today's police brutality. So, what did police do? They're supposed to protect us. They are supposed to be there to keep us away from the harm that might occur from, other societal things. But historically, and almost in every country, police always does brutality against the people, and it is very surprising. Like, why couldn't the police be in solidarity with Gen Zs today in Nepal? Why couldn't they do that? If they had done it, Gen Zs would love police for forever. Like, until the day Gen Z would die, they would remember police and they would love them. But when we grow up, when a kid is crying in the house, in a Nepali household, a mom or a dad will go and say, okay, shut up, otherwise the police will come and take you. So we are taught to be scared from policemen ever since we're a kid. And we grew up with that. And obviously, like, our parents, when there was a civil war, during the civil war, yes, they had to be scared of police and also the army, because if they were not, then one could point their fingers at them, say, oh, this person is Mahabadi, or this person is, related to royal family or something, and they would be persecuted by either side. So I understand where it comes from, but this police brutality and this thought within ourselves that we feel like, we are always scared of policemen because they are always in higher power, position of higher power than we are. So whenever we see a policeman with a stick walking around, we'd be scared, and we don't talk anything to them. Even if they are being brutal, we don't say anything to them. It's like not talking back to the teacher who, beats you in this school. They are legally not allowed to do that. Police as well, they are not legally allowed to beat us for no apparent reason. And today, in the name of crowd control, they sought at a lot of people, but 19 of them have died. And how could this be possible? The CDO, he basically says, oh, I only give permission for rubber bullets, not for the real bullets. But we can see videos of people, the policemen directly, the armed police force, not the police force, but the armed police force. I mean, they are both mixed, and it's very confusing during these days which side is which, because they are both under the government and they will obviously listen to the person who is in power. And if KP Oli, who is now saying, oh, I'm grieving over 19 people dying and a lot of people being hospitalized, that is bullshit. If he actually cared about us, if he actually cared about the Gen Z, he would actually leave his position as a prime minister, declare an election or something in the country, and push for a policy where we can directly represent prime ministers in our country. Why do we have to choose MPs and they have to choose who will become the prime minister? And ever since we were a kid, we have seen same 3-4 people become prime minister. The two other people that we saw in our lifetime, in Gen Z's lifetime, who were prime ministers, they are dead. And apart from those two, everyone else, the Porchanda, Baburam, KP Oli, Serbadur Deva, they are all there. And we all have this, like, a dream in every, and almost in every developing country. There is this kind of a feeling, and Americans even had this last week when Donald Trump was apparently sick for a week and he didn't come out to do any television interviews and whatnot. People were, like, kind of happy. The people in the left were kind of happy that he might have been died. And in almost every developing country, we have this dream ever since we were a kid that, okay, one day they will die away and they will just go away, and the place will be vacant, the position will be vacant, and at least then it will come our chance to basically, be in leadership and take control over the country. But that never happens. Like, unfortunately, bad people don't die very, very early. It's only good people who lose their lives at very early stage, like 19 brave Gen Zs today. And 19 future have been lost in our country. 19 possibilities, 19 hopes, and 19 families have been devastated today in our country. And it's not a small number. Like, you might go out and say, oh yeah, only 19 people died, not a lot of people. It's not a small number when you consider this was a pre-planned, and it was unprovoked as well. And the only provocation come from police. and the crowd control mechanism, whatever they employed, the water cannon and the rubber bullets, there was no need of that. And the restricted areas, if they had not said certain places were restricted, Gen Zs would not have gone there. The only reason we're frustrated is because there are so many restrictions upon us. Like, we cannot use social media, we cannot talk about the politician, we cannot criticize them, because once we criticize them, we all know the story of the YouTuber in Japan. Well, I mean, he did say some wild stuff, but at least it was just speech. He did not actively go and try to kill certain politician at the time. And he's not the only like isolated case. There have been so many other cases where basically you pushed something against a politician or against a person in power, and then you get persecuted in the name of cyber law. And this KPOL government has always tried to implement certain policies in the name of cyber law, which restricts people's expression in the social media. They cannot criticize KPOL. As long as everyone is KP, I love you, he's happy. In that case, he likes social media. Like, he's more than happy, and he is very aware that, like, as long as he is sarcastic and he does not take things seriously, people will make memes about him and people will forget what he actually stands for. He is a socialist. He apparently he comes under the banner of socialism. But I would really love to ask KPOL, what does socialism mean to you? What does Samajwad mean to you? What have you done in our country that reflects your ideology? You have been in power so many times. What have you done? This protest is not because we cannot use TikTok, Instagram, and spend hours and hours doom scrolling. This protest is not for that. This protest is against the brutality of our government, the totalitarian, the authoritarian multi-party government system in our country. And it is against the restriction of our freedom. We cannot travel as we wish. We cannot go to other country as we wish because NOC is not given to us. And we cannot express our opinions. And what are we to do? There are no job opportunities. There is no favorable condition for international companies to come and invest in our country. There is certainly no stability. Like, three people, they always want, one of them wants to be in power at certain point all the time. And now Prachanda, he's coming out and saying, okay, I'm solidarity. I show my support to Gen Zs. We don't need his support. He is one of the culprit. He is one of the person who is the reason why we're in this situation. Yes, he brought republic, he made Nepal republic. He was one of the main leader at the time, and we're grateful to him for that. But that doesn't mean he always gets to stay in the power forever, no matter what he does to us. And this is the same thing with all the political leaders that we have. They have been in power for so long, man. Just get the fuck away. Just let us come in. Who told you Gen Z do not care about the country? If Gen Zs did not care about the country, would there be thousands and thousands of us in the street trying to say enough is enough? No more corruption, no more authoritarianism. Let's, bring democracy and act in a way that people want the country to be run. We have resources that have been basically misused and pillaged by all the people that we don't even know. The rich people in our country live such kind of life that we don't even see the rich people in our country. And the poverty is so rampant that the people cannot buy a liter of oil for their daily food or rice. And that is the case we live in. The people in capital, the Kathmandu, live completely different life than majority of people outside of the capital. And everything is centralized. The hospitals are in the capital, the schools are in the capital, the universities are in the capital, and everything everywhere else, like, everyone has to come there. Why? Like, decision can be centralized, I understand that, but why development centralized in our country? And that is also one of the reasons why we're frustrated. A person who grew up in Dharan does not want to come to Kathmandu always to get the education that he or she wants to. That should not be the case. But this is the kind of situation we're living in. And I know a lot of Gen Zs who were in protest today, they might have gone home and their parents might have shouted at them, basically, because the horror they saw at the protest was not enough for them. Maybe that was one of the reasons. I do certainly understand where the parents are coming from. I'm not saying I do not understand that. I know they love their kids and they do not want to see their kids being dead. But at the same point, if we don't raise our voices now, Until when are we going to wait? Until the day the last Gen Z leaves the country, is forced to leave the country. No one wants to leave the country and go some like bizarre place where we cannot properly understand the language, we cannot properly talk the language of the place, we do not understand the culture. People are there, people are not friendly, and there is racism all over the world. It's getting rampant day by day. We do not want to leave our country in that kind of situation. No one wants to do that, but we are forced to. And our parents, they are happy to see us do that rather than try and do something in our own country. And if you parents, if you think that the only reason we're protesting is because we could not doom scroll like aimlessly in Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and whatnot, that is not the reality. We're trying to save the country. The Gen Zs out there today are trying to save the country. And this is the reality. So for all those political leaders showing solidarity with us, please, you do not need to do that. Like, we want you to get out of the place. The three main political parties and the party, and especially the party members, like they are the one who have done violence in the protest as well. So it's not Gen Z's, it's those political party members and the police, because they know these the political party members from the opposition side, they know, or within KPOL side, they know if they make this a protest a bit violent, people will not support it. The people of the country will not support. The millennials, the baby boomers, or whatever we like to call them, they will not support it. Like our parents literally will not support it. Why? Because they see the violence. They did not want this protest to be violent. So the main reason why this protest was a bit of violence was because of that as well. The violent people came from outside, like they were not invited. They came in and they did the violence, and because of that, 19 people had to lose their life. So how many lives would be enough for people? Now let's not make this only Gen Z protest. Let's make this Nepal protest. Yeah, the future of Nepal is going to protest for our future, because we need this. And if not now, never. There are decades where nothing happened, and there are weeks when decades happen, and this is one of those weeks when decade will happen, and we will never forget. Today is one of the darkest days in the history of our country, and people who are in power, they should be shameful. One person, the home minister, basically resigned. Prime minister should be resigning. Why is he not resigning? Why is he smiling? Why is he holding meeting in his Sital Nibas, or whatever the hell it is? Why is he doing that? Why can't he show his face to the young people that apparently he so admires? We love our country, but we are not going to be silent this time. Thank you.